The Suzuki DRZ-4SM, everyone. Welcome back to another video on this awesome motorcycle, which has very kindly been provided by Fraser's Motorcycles. We'll talk more about them in a little bit, but you guys, this is one of those bikes where I think is a bit like Marmite. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So for people who would be interested in buying one of these bikes, despite the fact that it is A2 compliant, would a full license holder get bored of this bike? So after having ridden this bike for about an hour or so now, I can honestly say that I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thus far, this bike has been a lot of fun. And the funny thing is that in our ride review of this bike, I mentioned at the end that this feels more like it was made for a full license holder than an A2 rider, even though an A2 rider would be legally allowed to ride this bike here in the UK. But the price tag and the feel of the bike, it feels more premium, it feels more upmarket than an A2 bike would. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I don't know, it doesn't seem as appropriate for an A2 class rider. I don't know. But what I will say is that for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed this bike. I absolutely love it. I genuinely do. I think it's a lot of fun. First, second, third gear, man, are amazing. Fourth and fifth, bit boring, but those are cruising gears. Who cares? You know, for me, when it comes to the riding experience of a bike, it's got to be in those first few gears, really, that count. Because otherwise, like, you're not going to be able to enjoy the bikes on everyday roads. You know? If you can't use the power of a motorcycle on everyday roads, then what's the point? Whereas on a bike like this, you can use all of the power and you can use it legally. And the fact that you can pull some fat wheelies as well makes this bike a lot of fun. And this is the kind of riding experience that I really appreciate. This is my type of riding experience. Oh man, this bike's really good. I mean, it basically rides like a naked, but even better. And it's got a more comfy ergonomic setup as well. There's a lot going for this bike. I hear that the older ones were better than this. But, to be fair, if that is the case, well, that's fantastic, because this bike is pretty damn good as it is right now. Woohoo! Oh, this bike just loves to have the front wheel up off the ground. It's amazing. And that's the thing, this bike isn't very quick. It hasn't got a lot of top end horsepower, but it's got a load of torque, and it's sustained torque as well. It's not like just a little bit of torque here and a little bit of torque there. You are actually getting a sustained amount of torque as you're riding this bike, which is just incredible, man. Yeah, this is the brake feel is amazing as well on this bike. Brakes and suspension, I mean, top class. For a bike in A2 class, and it's adjustable as well. Yeah. Pretty sick brakes and suspension setup for sure on this bike. But definitely where you want to be with this bike, you guys, is full power mode, or power mode A, traction control off. For street riding, that's where you want to be with this bike. And the fact it's so nimble. Oh, it's so refreshing to be on a bike that's got this much power at this weight. I mean, it's got to be one of the lightest A2 bikes. I mean, one of the lightest bikes I have ridden, full stop. And it's a great combination, being lightweight with that very torquey single cylinder engine. Yeah, I'm not surprised that people rant and rave about the DRZ-4. This is a great bike. And sure, alright, if you've ridden one of the older ones, you might not appreciate this. But as a first impression for me, it's great. I had an opportunity to buy like a mid-2000s DRZ last year or the year before, and in the end I decided not to pull the trigger on it because I wasn't sure if I was actually going to enjoy it, but now I kind of wish that I bought it. Especially if the older ones are meant to be better than this. But this is pretty good, you guys. I mean, look, I haven't got a lot of experience with supermotos, but I've got a lot of experience on other amazing bikes. And this comes quite close to those bikes in a lot of ways, you guys. It resembles a lot more of the riding experience of like Moto Guzzi with their very torquey V-twins. Very reminiscent of those bikes, and that's probably why this bike is clicking with me quite a lot. It's because it does have a very similar feel in terms of performance, or how the bike is producing its power output. I mean, an amazing street riding bike, this. And perfect for commuting with as well, I think. Especially if your journeys are maybe up to an hour away. Any longer than that, I think might be a bit of a struggle, considering the seat isn't the most comfortable thing in the world. But even so, there aren't many drawbacks to this bike. The only real drawback to this bike is the price tag. It's quite expensive, but that's why I honestly don't think that this bike was made for A2 riders, even though A2 riders can buy and ride this legally. I don't think it was made for them. I think this was made for the hardcore DRZ lovers. Because, I mean, Suzuki have been making the DRZ-4 for how long? 20 years? In terms of the SM anyway, 20 years. The DRZ, they've been making that for ages, the off-road variant. They've been making that for so long. So this bike's got a lot of heritage, and I mean, if you don't want to buy one of the old ones because you want a warranty, then this gives you quite a compelling reason to get one, doesn't it? Woohoo! Mate. Mate! I love this bike. I honestly, A2 bikes are one of those categories where you're either going to really like a motorcycle and you are a full license holder, or you're kind of going to be like, oh, it's a bit boring, not that interesting. But this is one of those bikes that is actually very, very enjoyable, even for someone like me who rides ridiculously powerful bikes on a frequent basis. Like, you know, when you have a bike like an MT-09 at home, I suppose that kind of makes this bike all the more viable, because it is competing with the MT-09 in so many ways in terms of the riding experience. Okay, not in terms of raw performance, don't get me wrong, but riding experience is very comparable. When you think that the MT-09 engine is quite a small engine, triple cylinder, producing just over 100 horsepower and almost 100 newton meters of torque, the riding experiences are actually very similar, to be honest with you, between the two bikes, and the fun factor as well is very similar. But yeah, this is just one of those bikes, you guys, that I don't think you'll get bored of. I think the only thing that does make it a little bit boring is, like, the tech package is there, but the dashboard isn't. If Suzuki had put in a TFT full color dash, I think that would have made all the difference, especially at that price point. At that £8,000 price point, brand new, I think they could have added a full color TFT to this. And I don't think people would be complaining as much about the dated look of the bike as much. So it's interesting, and to be honest, the dashboard I think is quite good. And if it's something that you don't really care about, you care more about the riding experience like I do, then it's not going to be something that you're going to worry about, and it's not going to deter you from buying it. But when there are many bikes within the A2 category that have got full color TFT displays now as well, it's just one of those things that Suzuki could have added in there, and I don't think it would have cost them that much to do either. They could have had the exact same dashboard layout, but just make it a full color TFT. And considering those displays are quite cheap these days as well, it's like, I don't think there's much of an excuse for that. But having said that, the riding experience is second to none. This is a more premium riding experience than any A2 class bike that I have been on. And there are loads of really good A2 class bikes. But there are lots of A2 class bikes that are faster than this. There are lots of A2 class bikes that are cheaper than this, much cheaper than this. So it's a difficult one, because I really like this bike. Genuinely, I like it, but would I pay £8,000 for it, or would I just buy one of the older DRZs or DRZs? Would I buy an older one instead? That is going to be basically very similar to this. I don't know. That's a tough one. But from what I'm riding right now, you guys, this is very, very good. So, I honestly, I don't think that an experienced rider would get bored of this bike. I think they thoroughly enjoy it. And if anything, as I've mentioned a couple of times in this video, I keep coming back to it, that this is arguably made for full license holders. This is arguably made for more experienced riders than A2 class riders. I don't know if an A2 rider would really be able to appreciate this bike as much as someone who has a full license. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. At least the price tag would imply that this is more for advanced level riders, or more full license holder riders than A2 class riders. But even so, so when you can do stuff like that, man, this bike's good. It's very good. I don't know what to say, you guys. When you put the price tag aside, I honestly don't think there's much to complain about this bike. Some of you will complain about the seat. That's fair enough. Some of you will complain about the wind noise. Some of you complain about the gearing. 4th and 5th gear don't really have a lot. Doesn't really have a lot of tech stuff, but for the price tag anyway. But for A2, this has got more tech than most A2 bikes do. So you've got to keep that in mind. Oh man, this is a tough one, you guys. This bike's very, very good. What can I say? I really like it, and I think I would buy one. I actually think that I will be buying one of these bikes in the very near future, because I've been pleasantly surprised by it. It's just this, you guys. Like that was even just a little bit of throttle there, and the front end came up. I could just do this all day and have so much fun on the bike. Woo! I mean, one thing that I should mention is that because there's nothing really stopping you from sliding back on the seat, when you're doing the wheelies, you are having to hold on to the handlebars. It will throw you back in the seat. So there's one thing that I would probably modify about this bike if I were to buy one myself. I would put like a little backstopper, so I'd probably like change the seat out for something that has a little backstop, so that I wouldn't slide so far back off the seat. But I mean, that's the thing, you guys, this bike is so close to being one of those bikes. So I should be able to pick up the front end in second gear as well. Maybe it's because I'm too heavy at the moment. Maybe I'm just too heavy. I am weighing in quite heavy at the moment. I need to go on a diet. Go to the gym a bit more. But, oh man, this bike, you guys. I think this bike is worth it. But, yeah, only for a rider with some experience, a rider who would understand how to appreciate this bike. And look, if you are an off-road rider as well and you already know how great this bike is, and you're looking for something that you could ride on the street, this is a better option than the DRZ-4S, because that's got the knobbly tyres, so they'd be it wouldn't feel quite as smooth on the road, whereas these street tyres are far more suited for everyday road riding. This is probably the version of the bike that I would get. Between the S and the SM, they're the same price, so it doesn't actually matter which one you would. It's just personal preference, really, what you would prefer. Whether you'd want a bike that's more street oriented, I say more street oriented, that is a street bike, or one that has got more off-road capabilities. That, I guess, is personal preference and is up to you. But I really enjoyed this bike, you guys. I friggin' love it. I think it's an amazing motorcycle. I mean, you guys let me know what you think, as always, down in the comment section below. And, well, yeah. If you've enjoyed this video, you guys, go ahead and leave that like. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down there so you don't miss any more videos on the DRZ. I will be shooting one more video on this bike in a moment here. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. But I hope you enjoyed this ride out with me. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Everyone, you take care, ride safe, have a good one.